Okay, so this is how to do dimensions and scenes. Once you've completed your project, you've got a door and you've got a drawer, and you've got the carcass. And at this point, you want to get all of those together. I've played around and pulled the door out and kind of opened up the drawer. However, it really doesn't matter. You just take that whole thing, select it all, and then you bring it down the way, put the original back, move it down a ways, just far enough to be kind of out of sight, and then do Shift 8, which is times, about times 4, enter. The more detailed pieces that you have, the more times you're going to need to iterate it or make it multiply itself. So when we do this, we can see that there's more of these out in the side direction, out over this way. Okay, so at this point, what we're going to want to do is take these different pieces, and we're going to want to strip these different models down to just the different parts. So I'm going to select, remember, if I go from the right up to the left, I'll select everything that's within that group. I want a left side. I probably want to get then a side out of there, face frame out of there. I could expect that I might want to kind of go from a place like this, and that really shows quite a bit of details in there about the back. I probably don't want the door. Just going to kind of decide for yourself. What I can see is that I'm going to have a hard time getting all the details back in here. I can just make sure I connect it. That'll work. Then on the next one, I could focus on doing just the drawer. The next one I could focus on doing just the door. Whoops, just the door. That's probably enough. So now when I go down and get these different pieces and start to do my dimensions on them, all I'm going to need to do is put all the pertinent information into my drawing. So I'm going to get the dimension tool, and I'm going to put everything on here that I think is going to be pertinent. I want to go make sure I've got the absolute bottom corner and bring that out. It's 26 inches. Notice I had to reach in around those dados, and I knew I was doing that, and I got it. So that's the total height. I'm going to need the total width, and yes, I want to get in here close, make sure I've got the right spots actually. And it's simply a process of making sure that you've got all the things that you need. I might want to put how high up this is, which will help me with my drawers. Any details that you want to have. If you don't have them in the end, you may have to go look up things and write them down on your final plans because you didn't get them, but you'll probably survive. It'll all work out. Okay, and then I'm going to take that and go to Window, Scenes, and I'm going to add that as a scene. Now I've made some example ones, so I don't have to go through and do each one of these, but this is called a side. Since I've already made one called a side, I'm going to call it, and I'm going to go down here and select that, and then go side, I'm going to call it side 2 because it's actually the second one of these that I've been doing. So you can see that earlier I did one, and I've got it all laid out here, and I have examples of how to do those dimensions. And I've done that so that I can do the same thing down here, and then you can slide this video forward and back and then very quickly see all of them. So when we look at that first example, there it is. There's our side 2 that we just did. Here was my side 1 that I did, and that's more fully, this is probably the one that you want to use for your example. With the shelves, there's the width of the size of the shelves, the size of the drawer of the back, the size of the drawer, just all the information I need to make the project, and the information for the door. So there's how to do scenes and dimensioning. Great.